as a community can do better.
What do you want to tell your children about this moment?
We need reforms.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we stand together.
Everybody's here together, black, white, brown, everybody.
A platform for progress in our community.
We need to do a better job.
I want to show that we can be peaceful.
This is just as much our fight as it is yours.
Discussing the problems of racial inequality and solutions to combat discrimination in a conversation for change.
We'll be able to build on this.
I never in a million years thought I would embrace a cop like that.
From Wish TV, we stand together.
Discussions about systematic racism and policing often happen in the same breath. How to best police, a key topic.
The Indiana University Police Department recently announced a 17-year police veteran will head its diversity and community engagement efforts. In this We Stand Together report, Katira Winfrey speaks to Wayne James.
The path to becoming Indiana University Police Department's first Chief Diversity Officer for Wayne James started in Gary, Indiana, working with a local police force before transitioning to Indiana University Northwest. He stayed there for 11 years. Now he calls Bloomington home as he takes up his duties as the Assistant VP and Deputy Superintendent for law enforcement operations across every IU campus. It's his job to expand inclusion and diversity in recruitment, and he takes it very seriously.
Everyone in your average police department, diversity is something that you aim for, but even on college campuses, talk about why that's important to have a diverse staff.
It's important that we have a diverse staff because if you look in higher education, particularly Indiana University Police Department, we have a lot of opportunities, right, to build long-lasting relationships. And we need to make sure that in our hiring processes and practices that not only are we looking for the best candidates, but we're looking for officers who are culturally responsive to the populations we serve, because we have students from as far as international, from some marginalized communities as well, huge population and women as well at all our campuses across the state. So it's very important to us, not only that we look to hire people to replace officers, but we're hiring the best officers that's really culturally responsive to that sensitive population that we serve.
I know a lot of people are making moves in light of recent events. Is your position something that's been in the works, or is this in response to what we've seen across the country?
No, it's been in the works. And what I will say to you is we have been a progressive agency. Over back in 2017, year 2017 of October, we formed a de-escalation commission, which I chaired. And what this commission did was look at our training. And we looked at our training and we said to ourselves, it was sufficient, but we needed to do better. So during that time, when we talk about de-escalation is pretty much integrated into all our culture of our agency that embraced that. And one of the things that came out of that was we saw the need that we needed to be consistent with making sure officers received mental health first aid training throughout the agency. And we sent 4 people. We invested into that. We sent 4 people to mental health instructor school to come back and train our officers in mental health first aid. We also purchased a virtual simulator, which is a scenario-based simulator, not shoot, don't shoot, but it's scenario-based. So we put officers on that to see how they will respond and react to different scenarios. And not all of them is pulling your weapon. A lot of it too is de-escalation and talking to somebody. One of the other things we did was also fair and impartial policing training and procedural justice training as well. And integrated that into our culture. Now, this was several years ago. We looked at our response to resistance policies and made updates to that where we prohibit chokeholds, but we also put a part in there with officer intervention. If the officer using excessive force, they have to report it. We'll report it to a supervisor. We're giving officers the resources to respond to volatile situations without always having to run in. If they can de-escalate, to de-escalate, and deadly force is the last option for us.
And as someone with, 18, 17 years of experience in law enforcement, how do you feel seeing everything happen and all the action and all of the police departments trying to reevaluate procedures and reevaluate how they interact in the public. How do you feel about seeing all that?
I think, I talk from my experience and personal opinion. We should never have to look at our policies and procedures as it relates to training and things like that when crises occur, right? We know that happened. We should always be looking 2 to 3 years ahead, looking at best practices, the national standards, meeting those standards, but also working with other departments as well to see what they're doing too. What's happened, what has unfolded over the last few months in this country has been very sad. And even George Floyd, that was the tipping point really of systematic and institutional racism that has been going on in this country for quite some time. I think as law enforcement officers, we need to be open to those different perspectives and working more closely with our community partners, in our case, our campus partners with our faculty, staff, and students, but also the communities we serve, because we serve some of those demographics in urban environments such as Gary, Indianapolis, South Bend, and others, where we're integrated into the community as well. So it's more important for us to utilize those resources and build those legitimate relationships, intentional, but in making sure we maintain a consistency as well.
The University Police is also planning to develop a chief community advisory board.
Yeah, so the goal is to bring together division leaders into the conversation to develop ways to improve police operations at all university campuses.
From Wish TV, we stand together. Watch, read, listen, and be a part of the conversation online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Find more episodes of We Stand Together and other podcasts from Wish TV online anytime at allindianapodcastnetwork.com. allindianapodcastnetwork.com.